We'll start off with Call of Duty 4, and this was perk number 3, and it was called Martyrdom. Now, this one made a lot of us rage back in the day because most of us were probably playing pretty well. We were on our streak, we were pushing into the enemy base, and then you take out that one guy that has this perk equipped, and then suddenly he drops a grenade as he dies. And this grenade, if you didn't know, Call of Duty 4 grenades were kind of insane and overpowered. It most of the time would kill you. Almost every time. Ruin your streak, lose your momentum. And he actually, pretty much this person got rewarded for dying because he then gets a kill to start off his next respawn. First of all, how in the world did he pull the pin? He was dead. Next up, one of my favorite Call of Duties, but there was a decision that they made in this game that I probably wasn't the biggest fan of, and maybe you weren't either. That was the introduction of tanks. And like a lot of you, and like Call of Duty 4, you'd be on a nice little rhythm, you'd have your streaks going, and then you would look to your left and you would go, holy crap, that's a tank in multiplayer. Now, if you're a Battlefield player, you're probably like, what's this dude complaining about? Well, Call of Duty multiplayer, when you got used to Call of Duty 4 and came to World at War, you're like, oh my gosh, we're in trouble here. And you know what? If you got hit by one of these bullets of the tanks, you were dead right away. Now, I will say the one cool thing about the tanks was when you, this might be a little graphic, but when you did blow up the person with the tank, it looked like it. It looked like it. World at War was very realistic when it came to that kind of stuff. But yeah, dying to a tank when you really couldn't do much about it was very frustrating. Now, this next one, it ruined a lot of nuke streaks. And of course, we're talking about Modern Warfare 2. And this game so lovingly introduced a brand new feature called death streaks. Now, if you don't remember what these things are, let me quickly explain them to you. Somebody that was struggling during the game and they started to die a few times in a row, they would actually get rewarded with a death streak. Now, one of these death streaks, which was only 3 deaths in a row, may I remind you, it was called Painkiller. Now, Painkiller literally gave you a crazy amount of damage that you could just take. I think it was 3 times more damage for 10 seconds after you spawned. So many times you could just be in a situation where you're fighting people, making moves, trying to get your streaks. And then if you shoot somebody and you see that Painkiller sign pop up, you might as well sit the controller down because you ain't winning that gunfight, even if they're the worst player of all time. I don't know why they introduced these. Participation trophy, I don't know why. A lot of rage happened when I died to these guys. Now, I love me some Black Ops 1, but I'm not gonna lie. This perk was just absolutely disgusting. This was Last Stand. It was Last Stand. Now, I know that there was Last Stand in other Call of Duties, but something about Black Ops 1, I feel like it was the worst version of it all. The reason I say this is this game was kind of dominated by Ghost, where you couldn't be seen on the radar. And so a lot of people wouldn't show up on the radar because of that. So you would find somebody running Ghost and Last Stand at the same time. So they'd be like camping in a corner and you're like, oh, I finally found somebody. I take them out, and then they drop down, and then they would have Last Stand and they would take you out. And you'd be like, holy crap, this dude is camping in a corner. I can't see him on the radar. And on top of it all, he fell to Last Stand and he killed me. I mean, that's enough sometimes to rage quit and get off the game. Now we're on to Modern Warfare 3, and sadly, we are gonna have to talk about death streaks once again. Somehow they made them even more powerful, and the combo was Dead Man's Hand. Again, same situation. If you died a bunch in a row, you would get rewarded with one of these. You would get rewarded for dying, guys. So just think about that. So this person, when he went to his next life, he would get rewarded Dead Man's Hand, and when he died again, he would drop down and have like a C4 attached to his body and take out everybody nearby. So sometimes if you had a team that was like going for a domination flag or something, this dude could get 4 or 5 kills. Now, Black Ops 2, this one gave me nightmares, man. This would be the campers doing the shock charge Betty combo. Please tell me you remember this. I mean, there's no way you don't, because everybody completely hated this style of play. The person would be probably more than likely camping in a little area, a little room, and he would throw a shock charge on like the wall or like the door frame. And then below the door frame, he'd throw a C4, or not a C4, he would throw a bouncing Betty. And pretty much what would happen if somebody came through that doorway, they would get shocked with the shock stick. And as they're trying to get out of that animation, here comes a bouncing Betty, and you're looking at it directly in the eyes. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, there ain't nowhere to hide. You're going right down. So you'd get shocked, and then you'd get taken out by a Betty. And then you'd be staring at the guy in the kill cam of him just sitting in the corner. And you go, come on, man. This one, Call of Duty Ghosts, this one makes me mad to this day. Y'all remember running around the maps, and then you'd hear this little noise like, ding. I don't know if that was the noise it made. It was something like that. It was like, ding. Yeah, that was an IED. Pretty much this thing was one of the most overpowered things I've ever seen in a Call of Duty game. With a game that was very campy and very slow paced. Anybody that was trying to speed up the gameplay, they would run into these things all the time. I cannot tell you how many times I would die to these. On top of it, there was 4 in one IED. So you would get taken out by one. Sometimes you'd rage and run back to the guy camping. You get hit by it again. This dude may get 4 kills on you because you just kept trying to go back and try to get him. I am guilty of that. Could have just shot it down, but I had too much of an ego. Now, Advanced Warfare, you're probably like, oh, maybe it's the jetpack stomp or something like that. I feel like nobody really ran into that type of situation. I'm actually going to go with something different. I'm going to go with the BAU 27 Obsidian Steed. If I died to one of these, I just got so mad because it wasn't really for the fact that it was the person on the other side. It wasn't really their fault. It was the fact that you could only earn this gun through supply drops. And me, y'all know me. I did a video, a live stream where I opened up like $500 worth of supply drops and I never got the Obsidian Steed. So seeing somebody have that where, I mean, some of you guys even commented, oh, I got the Obsidian Steed in my 3rd ever opening. Excuse me? I mean, that's a very luck-based, overpowered, pay-to-win gun. And dying to it made me sick. Now, Black Ops 3, we're going to continue the trend, but this wasn't a supply drop weapon. This was actually a shotgun in the game, and that was the Brecci. Now, if you played Black Ops 3, you can hear this in your nightmares because this thing at launch was one of the most overpowered guns we've ever had. They tried to nerf it a billion times. It didn't really work. It's still over. If you go play Black Ops 3 right now, it is still overpowered. On top of this, there were people back in the day that had like these fire mods or pretty much for controllers, and it would allow you to shoot the gun even faster. So you were using one of the most overpowered guns in a higher fire rate than it was supposed to be. It is what fuels nightmares, ladies and gentlemen. You almost wanted to quit when you heard that noise. Okay, I was gonna say a little joke with Infinite Warfare and be like, I didn't play this game long enough to die, but I do remember actually playing this game, just a decent amount in the beginning, like we always do on release day. And this game had specialists as well. I think they were called rigs in this game, not specialists, but there was a rig that allowed you to act like a dog. And I wish I was kidding. It actually, I don't know what it was called. I can't remember because I didn't play the game long enough. But I remember dying to a dog robot charging me. And I said, you know what? I think it's time to go play COD 4 Remastered. Now in World War II, we were back to boots on the ground. We were all happy. And then we got a little taste of the shotgun era again. Just like in Black Ops 3, shotguns were well, one in particular was very overpowered, and it was the one that you could put incendiary shotguns on. I know it. If you played this game, if you remember anything about it, the amount of flames that were in a certain multiplayer match at certain times were wild. This thing was so annoying. Even if you survived the shotgun bullet, the first bullet, you would then burn after the fact and not get away. The shotguns were very easy to use as well, which made it 10 times worse because you could give a bad player this incendiary shotgun and he actually could do some damage. Now in Black Ops 4, we're gonna go with the specialist. Now I know what you're thinking, Black Ops 3 had specialists as well. And you know what? I'm going to say something crazy. I think that they were balanced very well in Black Ops 3. I don't know what the heck happened in Black Ops 4. They are some of the most overpowered things of all time. It's almost like they went backwards. It almost feels like sometimes Black Ops 4 was the game before. If this makes sense, like Black Ops 4, you would think the next game would have been Black Ops 3. In other words, it was actually the opposite, where Black Ops 4 was the next game, but felt like everything had taken a step back. And Firebreak is the one that I can remember dying to the most, where the guy would like curl up in a little ball, and then all of a sudden he would just have like this heat radiation flying around from him, and he could just keep sitting there, and you would just get taken out, and you're like, what is going on? I can't even see this guy. Yeah, they were busted in Black Ops 4. Now in Modern Warfare 19, we all know we could probably go about 7 different directions with this one, but Modern Warfare 19 was the first Call of Duty to have doors in it. It was introduction of doors. Well, this gave campers just an amazing way to I guess camp even more, to be even better at it. So what you could do is you could just sit behind a door, plop a claymore behind it, and anybody that plays like me would run through that door and immediately get smacked in the face with a claymore. Now, if you had EOD on, you were actually prepared for this situation, don't worry. You'd actually take a hit from the claymore, you'd be all busted up, and then the guy would hit you with a 7.25. You know exactly what kind of player I'm talking about right now. All right, so now for Cold War, we're gonna keep this one very, very simple. There was one gun in this game that was extremely overpowered, and the only way you could really get it was in the battle pass. I don't remember what season, but it was the Tec-9. And this SMG, I know I just said it was one of the most overpowered guns of all time. If you didn't play Cold War, you just don't understand what I'm talking about. It literally, you could take one of the worst Call of Duty players when this thing spawned into the game and give them this, and they could probably do fine. They could, honestly, they might do great. I don't know what happened. I did think they ended up nerfing it over time, but just trust me, early Tec-9, holy moly. Now in Vanguard, we're back to shotguns, guys. I don't know what it is. This was the double barrel shotgun. It was double barrel. Then you had 2 of them, akimbo, and then they also had incendiary rounds. Just trust me. I know some of you guys quit Vanguard. You didn't play it because you didn't like it. I actually didn't mind the multiplayer that much, but if you saw somebody in your lobby with these spinny, it was like the MW2 models with flame ammo, incendiary ammo. Just think about that for a second. It's not good. It's just not good. Now in Modern Warfare 2, I'm just gonna go with riot shielder, because in this game, they gave us the ability to put riot shields on our back as a secondary. Now, it might have been in previous Call of Duties, maybe MW19 and Vanguard did it as well. I'm not a riot shield guy, so I don't know all the stats, okay? If you do, and you're gonna comment down below, they had it in MW19, you're part of the problem, okay? So these people would run around on shipment 24/7. They'd have riot shields on their back, and it was a secondary, like I had said, so they were able to have a primary gun. Some of these people were using shotguns or whatever they wanted. You couldn't shoot them in the back because they had a riot shield, and then they would just turn around because they would feel the shot but not take any damage, and just one pump you with a shotgun. I mean, how's that fair, man? Now for the new Modern Warfare 3, this was kind of an older problem in the old Modern Warfare 2, but it was just the amount of times that I died to someone knifing in this game. They had so many different blueprints and variants of knives in this game. There was the spear, there was the bow and arrow, there was all sorts of weird weapon combos. And this is an old age Call of Duty problem. You're sprinting at somebody, or I'm sorry, you're shooting at somebody, they're sprinting at you, you've hit them 18 times, and somehow they just lunge and take you out. And when that happens to you, you're just like, what in the world am I supposed to do about that? And I feel like in MW3, the knifing was actually very good. So I kind of got annoyed by that. Now, Black Ops 6, our final one here, it introduced the wonderful movement mechanic of Omni movement. I will be upfront with you guys. I actually like it. Could they tone it down maybe a little bit? Sure. But tell me somebody out there as well, has died to somebody jumping off a high area, spinning around in a circle, diving, 360ing like a madman, and then getting killed. It's happened to me before, and when I would watch the kill cam of what was going on, I just couldn't believe it. So the Omni Movement demons out there, dying to one of them is just, it's so sad. It feels so bad. Well, there you have it, folks. That is literally the worst way to die in every Call of Duty. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you have any others that you just couldn't absolutely believe your eyes when you died from it in any Call of Duty? Let me know in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this type of video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you want to watch another video, go click over there. We'll see you in the next one.